So we are going to speak about rental management, and if we speak about rental management, with rental management in Empowered Business Central, it gives the users of Business Central, of course, the ease and use to work with rental assets. So basically manage your rental assets, add them, rent them out, of course. And basically we are serving two go-to markets with it, either for rental companies who are renting stuff out to other companies, as well as internal rental services. So you can easily create your own resources which you're going to rent out, and you can choose between numbered or non-numbered resources. I come back to that in a minute. And of course you can group your rental resources in logical groups, and you can also reserve resources, of course, up front for specific renting periods. And as well, we have built the functionality which automatically calculates for you non-available time, for example, in between two renting periods, or and then you can think about preparation time or shipment time, setup time, or as soon as rental assets are brought back, maybe you need to do a checkup, and all those times will be calculated and gives you the real net availability for your rental resources. You can work with flexible pricing methods, so either you rent them by piece or by day. Come back to that in a minute as well. And we have created a feature which automatically creates your invoices for easy rental billing. And like I mentioned before already in the introduction of rental management, it's both available for internal as well as external rental. And now I need to confess a thing, because normally now we would dive into the demo, but I completely screwed up with updating my BC environment earlier today for this demo meeting. But as a workaround, I've managed to grab some images, and with that I'm still able to show you how rental management will work within Empowered Business Central. So for example, if we look over here, you can see that you can easily group your rental resources. And if we speak about pricing, I already mentioned that before, you can choose between different billing types. So for example, you can bill by usage or by piece or by date. And so for example, if you speak about an e-bike, probably you can invoice them by usage if we speak about if the billing unit of measure is kilometers or whatsoever. You can also use the billing unit of measure pieces. And of course, a very obvious one for rental is of course that you can use the billing unit of measure day, for example. Another thing I would like to highlight over here as well is that you can work with individual numbers. So for example, if you are renting e-bikes and you have 50 of the same e-bikes, in the meantime, I'm muting everybody, sorry. If you have several e-bikes, 50 e-bikes for example, and you don't necessarily need to rent them out on a specific serial number, for example, you can simply just create a resource groups with a quantity of 50 e-bikes, and you are renting them out, and based on the total capacity you can see if a e-bike is available. Well, for example, for in this case the power unit, or you can imagine your own things as well. Probably you have individual serial numbers, and you want to of course be sure and know exactly which version of that specific item has been rented out, which one is available. Also think about if you need to perform check times as soon as goods are received back. Then things can be registered on that individual numbered resources. So either, once again, to summarize, you can work with resource groups and as well with individual numbered resources. And as you can see over here, you can see the total quantity which is available for you to rent out. Then, for example, if you're going to create a rental order, basically imagine it's just the same as creating a sales order, but of course with some different things to consider as well. And the obvious one is of course the item you are going to rent, which is then from one of the resource groups. And very obvious, of course, is the rental from and rental to date. So as you can see over here, for example, if you are renting from August 27th till August 31st, keeping in consideration preparation time or check time or cleanup time afterwards, you can see a total rental period from and rental period to date, which then takes in consideration all those non-availability times, which of course has impact on your calendar. So if you are searching for resources to rent out to another customer, those items will then not be available to rent out. Last thing I would like to highlight is that, of course, with those resource groups and with the set up calendars, you can then see how much capacity of those resource groups or for those specific resource items is available for renting out to your customers. So it's a very easy, lightweight, straightforward rental management solution where you can create your own resources which you're going to rent, put them in resource groups. You can define your own rental billing unit of measure, either for example days or usage, if you speak about kilometers, for example, also if you're renting cars, or just by pieces. That's the flexibility you have to define your own rental billing frequency, but also of course the unit of measure. And last thing to mention once again is that we will always take in consideration the non-availability times, either upfront, before the rent from date, or after the rent to date. And that's basically rental management. As said, I screwed up with